Welcome back to Rinkside. I'm your host, mrlahrman. Today, we're going to be talking about fighting in hockey fights. If you don't like fighting in hockey, citing the risk of injury or violence for your reasoning, I think you need to watch the game a little closer. Hockey is violent. It's the brutality, the checks, the block shots, and the open ice hits that give it its charm, distinctly setting it apart from other, let's say, less exhilarating sports. No one is outwardly concerned with Alec Martinez's health after leading the league in block shots over the last 10 years, and the toll that it takes on a player's body. What we'll remember most about Alec is his Stanley Cup clinching goal back in 2014. He knows what he had signed up for, and that commitment is what we admire. The grade A is not just one of the best goal scorers of all time, he was a guy that needed to be tracked every time he was on the ice, and you better have your head on a swivel.
And Ovechkin flattens Marchand.
The elite goal scorers are now aiming at the goalie's ear, looking to bank it in. No big deal, just an 85-mile-an-hour one-timer to the dome. Violent. The people that have the biggest issue with fighting in hockey never played hockey. And I think perspective is important. From where I'm sitting, Josh Manson / Connor Bedard, because what is anyone on the Blackhawks gonna do about it? There wasn't a single penalty called after that missed call by the ref. And I don't even know if it was a penalty, to be honest with you. I mean, I guess it was, but I mean, it happens every single play. The Blackhawks responded with crickets. Loud and clear, guys. And now everyone in the league knows it. If what we're talking about is player safety, then taking fighting out of the game will result in more dirty plays. In Manson's case, that love tap was a veteran move, setting a tone, and not just for the game either. Bedard's gonna remember that, and the new guy that Chicago picks up in the offseason, he's gonna be shown that video. You know, everybody's gonna remember, and you're gonna have to pay the piper. Something you hear a lot too is that the NHL tough guys are some of the sweetest guys off the ice. No surprise there, to be honest. The task of protecting your teammates is not easy, and that's why the role is so appreciated. These are grown men with sticks traveling at a high rate of speed, on a razor's edge, on ice. And the reason they need to have the ability to protect themselves and their teammates is because the game is inherently violent. Checking a guy from behind, hitting him square in the numbers, especially near the boards, will most likely and should result in retaliation. Watching your teammate get two-handed slashed across the wrist or the ankle needs to be addressed. And at this point, I'd say 2 minutes, not usually enough. These are not unwritten rules, they're the rules. The players know it, the fans know it, the commentators know it, the player's mom knows it, the grandma, there's no question. Ty Karche, the top prospect for the Kraken, took it upon himself to handle Martin Pospisil after he had taken a cheap shot on Adam Larsson to start the game. The retaliation was a little late, but it happened nonetheless. This is not the first cheap shot the Kraken have endured at the hands of the Flames this season either. Do you remember Mangiapane's reckless cross-check to the back of the head of Jared McCann in November, ejected with intent to injure? And that is the point. If there's no pushback from the team, your opponent is not going to stop. Speaking of how hockey and violence go hand in hand, just ask my sponsor, Violent Gentlemen. The vibe is you're tough, you're honorable, you're trusted. These are all qualities we respect here at Rinkside, and I would encourage all of you to go check out the Violent Gentlemen website where you can find the most stylish hockey apparel available. There are great gift ideas for all the hockey fans in your life, so check it out and let them know I sent you. And now on to Matt Rempe's saga. His face-off with Ryan Reeves was nothing short of a blockbuster. Some say it's too much, but on the ice, it's about making a statement, setting the scene for the playoffs. It's not just about one fight, it's about setting a tone, a psychological edge over your opponents. You could say that Reeves was retaliating for the hit on Ilya Lyubushkin earlier in the game, but he wasn't. There was 6 minutes left, the Rangers are down 1. Rempe doesn't want that fight there. He doesn't want to come and jeopardize the team's comeback chances to have a tilt with the heavyweight champ, but the demand was there. Everyone wanted to see it. And Reeves has to prove that he can handle the new kid, or what's the point of keeping him around for the next 2 years of his deal? You want to find out how it's going to go before we hit the playoffs, right? There are countless reasons. Jack Todd of the Montreal Gazette writes his clickbait article where he says staged fights are trash. There's no enforcement excuse. They have nothing to do with either the flow or the outcome of the game. They get the crowd pumped, but goals, great plays, big hits, and big saves have the same effect. What a terrible take. What Jack doesn't get is that there are layers to the fight game. You're making lasting impressions. It affects the other team's psyche. What advantages are you trying to gain on your opponent? Every single night, every shift. Not for just that game, but permanently. You don't think the entire Metro isn't shitting their pants now with Rimpey running around like that? He might have just taken Nicholas Delorier off the board too. And that'd be a big win for the Rangers, right? I mean, the Devils just traded for Curtis McDermott. It matters. This is a principled stance too. Matt Rimpey isn't out there taking everyone out uncontested. Olivier kicked the shit out of him. There's vulnerability going toe-to-toe with the league's heavyweights, and that's what these guys signed up for. That's what they're delivering. And then of course there's the uproar over removing fighting from the QMJHL. I mean, you want a rookie that's never thrown a punch? Taken a punch? You're gonna draft that guy? Think again. It's about being battle ready for the big leagues. And without that, we might as well say goodbye to the raw essence of hockey. In the end, it's hockey, folks. Fast, furious, and fiercely loyal to its roots. For better or worse. It's not just a game, it's a tradition. And fighting is a part of that glorious, chaotic tradition.